Yo, what is going on, everybody? I hope you are well. Today we are going to go over the Falcons versus G2 in the finals of the last major last week or the week before. Absolutely fantastic event. And one little thing I do want to point out, if you don't know, I know I've pointed this out to pretty much everyone I played with when it happened, the nameplates are now, the text is HD, which is actually a big upgrade and not something that I even saw on the patch notes. So interesting to know that there are improvements coming in this game, more so in the esports area. I feel it looks a lot better with the good nameplate, and actually I like the boost totals. They've sort of grown on me, and it makes sense because it's easier to watch, and I feel that's where they're putting most of their energy at the moment, is Psyonix. But anyway, back to this. So what we're looking for in this replay, what I want to cover, fantastic event, is I want to cover the fundamentals and the levels to the fundamentals, which aren't exactly obvious until you really watch this video. We are watching this in the POV of Beastmode, who was the MVP, and you know, everyone played so well. But what's the most interesting thing about this series of games is, personally, I thought Falcons were going to destroy G2. They beat them a couple of weeks before this. I think it was something like 12 goals that Falcons scored to 2 that G2 scored over the full series. And interestingly, in this series, Falcons scored 3 goals and G2 scored 9. And we're going to just talk a little bit about that, and also the strategy. So the one game that the Falcons did beat G2 in, which was the first game, they actually played a completely different strategy to all the upcoming games after that. So they played a overall 2 players back, 1 forward. After that match, they switched to have 2 players forward, 1 back, which was usually, funny enough, Killeers or TRK. It wasn't actually Ruaz, although Ruaz was last back there. And of course, this is just statistics. You know, it doesn't mean that they're in fixed positions. Rocket League has movement, it has rotation. But what I want to say, interesting on the back of that, is that G2 kept the same strategy throughout, which was 2 back, 1 forward. And in every single game, the player who was forward was beast mode. Although again, doesn't mean he was just camping out forward. He was coming back, as you can see here, 2 positions. Now, of course, one of the biggest statistics in the game that a lot of people know is time spent behind the ball. The longer you spend behind the ball, the better off you're usually going to be. And this series was no exception. G2 had a hell of a lot more time spent behind the ball than Falcons did. And what you want to look at, what does time spent behind the ball mean? It means this sort of stuff. Goal side presence. See, he's behind the ball, ever so slightly behind the ball, and that means you win 50s in a positive manner. And this is going to come back to the fundamentals, which we'll get onto later on. So yeah, really looking forward to going through this. It's just, the whole series was fantastic. This is actually the final game. This is the last match here, where everything's on the line. You know, the Falcons are sweating. They're like, oh my god, this could be the end of it. And I felt that as this series progressed, the Falcons made more and more errors and became more and more reckless. And it didn't seem like they actually had any sort of other strategy than to just be reckless. And it was actually that which lost them these games, in my opinion, and we're going to cover exactly why. And again, like I say, the levels to fundamentals, which are almost astonishing, in fact. And probably the best way I can say this is if you watch Messi play football. If you watch Messi play football, it seems like the ball is glued to his feet. He doesn't just smash the ball away like you might see other players. You know, one that comes to my head is Gerrard and Lampard, who used to play for England. They just smashed the ball away and never seemed to have any success with it. Quite frankly, they were pretty terrible when you compare it to teams like Spain and, of course, you know, players again from Portugal, Ronaldo. But the cool thing is that this is the same with Rocket League. There are levels to fundamentals, and some players, even at this extreme speed, can somehow appear to have the ball glued to their car. And one of the things you'll often hear people say is, keep the ball close, keep the ball close, keep possession, keep the ball close, right? And then as you go up a few ranks, or let's say you're a diamond player, okay, and you're really good at keeping the ball close. If I chuck you into a GC game all of a sudden, you are going to be throwing that ball away over and over, panic throwing it. And this is the levels. You know, a lot of people feel that they've got very good ball control. And they have maybe for their rank, but there's levels to it. And I feel Beastmode is one of the best players in the world. I've always said that he's the most fundamental player in my eyes. But I think he's one of the best players in the world at controlling the ball, actually keeping the ball close when he can. So, interesting to talk about that. And before we go any further, I have a giveaway that I need to talk about. I'm looking for a hard stuck 2s player in Platinum. Hard stuck, that you've been there for at least 2 seasons, okay? That you're able to play. You do play, but you don't seem to be improving. I need you, okay? I'm looking for a player. Let's just get to the beginning of this. I want to coach you. I want to coach you up the ranks, and I'm going to try and get you into the higher ranks here. You need to be Platinum for the last couple of seasons, hard stuck, playing a lot of games, trying your best but can't figure it out why you can't improve. And you need to be on PC, and you need to be available on Mondays and Thursdays from 6 till 7 p.m. UK time. 2 hours of coaching, completely free per week. The only thing is you have to be willing to be on video, okay? If that is you, please reach out to me, and I want to do this journey together. I'm super excited because, you know, I feel I do things a little bit different. But let's get into this, okay? Let's get into these games. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the challenges. Both teams had their fair share of challenges. However, it was the kinds of challenges that were interested. A lot of Falcons challenges were all in. And what happened is, especially TRK with this for Killeers, is they kept reloading Beast Mode, or at least G2. Now this is levels, this is messy. Takes a soft touch, why? Because look where the players are, they're both back. Now this is going to become important later on when we see Ruaz, okay? So both players, all 3 players are back, which means you should take time. Why? Because look at the positioning, okay? If we take a shot when this lands, which a lot of players will do, World Champion stage, the panics come in, most people shoot this. TRK is back, Ruaz is back, Killeers is heading back. Take a soft touch, now they start to move forward. Now we are exploiting space behind these players, okay? And that's very important. A lot of players believe that you need to shoot, and that's a great strategy, don't get me wrong, I use it as well, everyone does. But what I'm saying is, I probably use it because I don't have world-class ball control. Okay, and that's something I train. So this is something I'm talking about when I'm talking about levels. You know, a lot of people, they do a little bit of ball control and then they're going and shooting green squares on a red background. Okay, the aim training stuff. That's all well and good, but let's be real for a second. I don't think Beast Mode spent any time doing that. I'm almost 100% confident. But I could be wrong. Beast Mode, I'll have to reach out and find out if he does. But he takes a soft touch. He pulls the defenders forward, and then he goes for a flick. Do you remember my first ever free series with no mechanics? I was using flicks. And a lot of people were going, yeah, but you can't use flicks in freeze. Well, I don't know who came up with that nonsense, but there's a flick for you, and it's extremely successful because it's forced the defender to make a save. And TRK was doing a terrible job of this for this level, in my opinion. Every clear TRK makes is a smash away from himself, which is allowing people like Daniel to be first to this ball, and there's the goal. This isn't a one-off. This was actually happening all the way through the series, as we'll see. So really good stuff there from Atomic on the shot. It's an amazing placement and great from Daniel. In fact, let's go back to this. This is, again, Ruaz. So this is the difference. One of the difference through this is you'll see here Ruaz dives in. And you could say, well, there's no issue with that, is there? Well, there isn't really, right? It's freeze. But this was really getting them out of, this was sort, you know, really messing them up, because now Ruaz is out of position. He goes for the boost that he didn't need, try and stay topped up, and that just delays him being able to get there. We're talking milliseconds. So just interesting to know how many diving challenges, the difference in diving challenges is actually quite dramatic. So again, we got beast mode. Now, what would most players do here? Smash the ball, right? Break. Break. Why? I need TRK to come out of position. Ah, he's been smart. He hasn't come out of position. Okay. Well, now we got to get a flip reset. It's still not out of position. Now, once he comes out of position, we'll hit it. And guess what? Okay, we're going to come here. Of course, it's an all-in challenge. But that's a smart one because TRK was blocking goal side at the most important moment. You cannot play 3v3 especially, in any mode really, without throwing in challenges. When there's specific positions you do need to challenge from, like that, if there's a shot on, you do need to try and cut that off. So, but here's the difference anyway. I want to show you this. Daniel faking in the corner, doesn't dive in. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Just tries to kill the momentum, continues moving with the ball. Guess what's Atomic's doing as well? We go back, look at it from Atomic's position. Shadow, shadow, shadow. And slowly, Atomic getting more to the middle. And guess what? Beast mode, again, same side rotation into this space. And he's set himself up perfectly with a lateral dribble. Fundamentals. It's unbelievable. When you see this at free, first of all, doing fundamentals is hard for a lot of people. Okay? Because people don't want to work on the fundamentals. They don't want to work on lateral dribbles. They don't want to just learn to dribble the ball. There's levels to this. And Beast Mode has got a lateral dribble. He's dribbling the ball perfectly. Is he going to throw this away? No, look at this. He's going to actually power slide to get the ball on top of his car. Double jump to go for an air dribble to keep him close to the ball so he can get a 50. Why is that so important? Because you're going to say, well, he's going to lose. He is going to lose the 50. We know he's going to lose the 50. But he's blocking goal side. And what they have done is extremely important. When we come back to this view here, and you can add this to your game, this is exactly what Rocket League is about. When you're talking about counter stars, when you're talking about pacifist system, okay? When we do the pacifist system, so many players who haven't done the course, they struggle. They say, well, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And one of the reasons is because you're not going on the back of the counter. You've done the job here, haven't you? You've got them to dive into the corner. People, I remember when I came up with it on twos, people say, well, it'll never work in a higher rank. It'll never work in a GC1, a GC2. It would never work in GC3, even though we proved it did. No one does that. Well, it also works in freeze. It's called fundamentals, and they're fundamental for a reason. And thinking that no one will get baited into that when I've got 3 world-class players, second best team in the world right now, in the corner, tells you a story that this game is still not where it should be. Okay? And every time I've said this for years and years and years, and now people are believing it more, people shut you down. They don't even go and watch the games, these people. They just think they know because they're pro, they're perfect. This is not good. You got 3 players in the same area, which means, boom, we're on a counter. I want you to look at their boost levels. This is exactly why. Look at the boost levels. This is why you counter as hard as possible and as well as possible. Boost, 100. Almost 100. Yeah, maybe 20. Pretty much 0 all across the board. So here, we want to get under the ball because we need lift. I mean, this is just so good play. We need lift. If I just shoot this low or push it low, yeah, I get the 50. But it could delay things. It could go bad for me. I have to get the ball up to force them to use even more boost. Double commit again. Zeros. Perfect. We've got them fully to 0. Very important. You're probably saying, yeah, but Beast Mode's on 0. Yes, but because he's attacking across the net, he gets the boost first, and he actually had the advantage anyway. You're sending one man in to get 0 boosted while you 0 boost 2 of them. Very, very important. And really, one of the big things you're looking at as well is just look at the centralized position of the green zone usage. Daniel, Beast Mode, both in the green zone. Again, statistically, G2 was spending most of their time in the green zone. If you don't know what that is, it's the middle zone. Beast Mode, again, putting the ball high, trying to create a threat. And again, Atomic shadowing, and Daniel doing a hover. Now, I really want you to look at this. It's so important. Little things like this, okay? One of the other things G2 did better than Falcons was that they were doing inline shadowing right at the end. You're meant to do that. You really are kind of supposed to do that. So it gets an inline shadow, and he's just hovering. Just hovering inline. Because one of his teammates will come and pick that up straight after. If he was on the outside, or if he flew towards the ball, he would necessarily, say he was out on the outside trying to hover, he'd now be landing away. Here, he now lands near the ball, and it can create some fear for the opponent. That was a really good play there from Falcon to move into this, or there's a bit of miscommunication from him and Atomic, because it's fine for him to move into this, but Atomic's already turned. So it's either, I think this is just purely a communication. Beast Mode or Atomic needed to be going back to net. But what I love is look at Atomic. So he's thinking of going, Beast Mode comes in, and he instantly just does a pivot play, reverse power slide into a forward power slide, and he's now glowing across the net. Now, what you see here is he has to dive for this, completely correct. If he hits this, they're probably in good, good stead. But he doesn't. And it's just important to know that when you dive across, there are much more chances of that sort of stuff happening, whereas being in line, but obviously you can't do that in that position. So yeah, perfect. Nice idea from Ruaz, a really good idea. And again, they're very, very pressed up. with not a lot of creation. It's a low hit. And that's really one of the first dives you see here from Atomic. Comes in, and he's just trying to block the instant to net play. So it's not really like a bad dive. He hasn't flipped or anything like that. It was purely to force Killers to go up the wall more, which it means it takes a longer path. And this is why. So this is actually how you should defend, especially in 2. You go there to force their path. He's forced him now to go upwards because he blocked the net. And then he's going to come from the behind play and get that into the corner. Very, very good defending. This is how you should defend, especially in 2s. Okay, so this is good. And here we go. We've got a nice big pressure coming in now from Falcons. Daniel is in the corner low and boost. And now they've got a counter. And this, I believe, was the difference. It seemed like in their counters, they weren't clicking. So Ruaz sort of just goes for this edgeable handoff here across the side, which is good. But it did seem throughout this series that there wasn't much team play going on for the Falcons. And it became very individual. So, ball comes across to Killeers. Beastmode's on it because he was their main chase down artist. And he comes and gets these 50s. And he's just going to rotate out. And now you got Atomic also. Now, this is really cool. I want to show you this. Atomic gets called off this, I believe. He gets called off. Daniel is there and just pops it high again. When they're clearing the ball, they're doing like slower arcing high clears. Important to note this. Why? It's actually harder to counter with this. You look at this from Killer's perspective. It's such a slow ball. It's really difficult. He can't jump and flip into it. So he just sort of has to pop it high. And that slows down their offensive play here. And as you can see, TRK actually tries to take control of this. And just fumbles it. But that's important because it's basically the balls they're getting are not reactive enough for them to be able to use effectively. And you can see that it was difficult. And this is levels. It is a perfect ball, but there are levels to that sort of play. And this, I wanted to go back to earlier. We saw the goal a minute ago from G2. Oh, I want to tell you the difference here with Ruaz. Now, remember earlier, Beastmode took his time. Okay, he took his time because the defenders were about to pull him out. He had all 3 players in sight. The level difference as far as awareness, vision, understanding. Ruaz has got the vision of 2 of them, but he doesn't have that awareness to just get this ball moving quicker. He should have known Beastmode was going to do that. Daniel again, more inside. Again, you'll see this from the G2 team. They're much more inside because of stuff like that. Great dodge, and of course, he's going to bury the goal. Great kickoff from Daniel there. And again, there's that shadow play. So no one's really moving into this ball for G2. Daniel gets the shadow play, and then Atomic will come in. And again, he's trying to keep the ball close. And it's just brilliant. Again, it's like it's not too fast. It's a close ball that puts it high, forces the opponent to double jump. Beastmode going for the blocking 50 there. And Daniel coming across. And this again comes down to... This is the difference. Okay, this is the difference. So, Killers gets this free ball. He's got a lateral dribble. He has not got the quality in this level of control that Beastmode had. Very, very important to talk about this. Beastmode did a power slide under the ball while it was moving to get the ball on the cart to be able to lift it upwards. Killers, and I'm not saying, again, guys, people look at this and go, yeah, but you can't. I know I can't do that. But what I'm saying is Beastmode can. And these guys are at the top level. So maybe there needs to be something looked at here, because look at this. It's a really heavy touch and it's a throwaway possession. 0 was created there. 0. This should have been some sort of goal. I believe he could have delayed this much longer. Didn't need. I mean, they're both overcommitted. You could have took another soft touch. You could have come here, get more of an angle, come under it. It was rushed. And it was, everything was heavy touches from the Falcons. Now that's going to be nerves. Of course, I understand that. But hell, this is a replay analysis. This is what we do. What we talk about. And again, Atomic, great stuff. They put the ball high. And then Beastmode. I mean, look at the, again, this is world-class touches. People say, do I need to work on catching the ball? Do I need to work on that? You know, I'm Grand Champ. Can you do that? Probably not. Yeah, you do. Okay. If you look after the fundamentals will look after you. Great steal again from Beastmode. And again, you'll see here, that it's much more defensive from G2. They get all the way into defense a lot of the time, and then they're looking to clear high. Even there, like Atomic, I mean, it's brilliant. So soft touch there from Daniel. Doesn't throw it away. Really important to remember that. Atomic, soft touch again, and tries to match the height of the board. This is very important stuff, and here he is again, the MVP. Look at what he does. Doesn't touch the ball. You have to smash every ball in freeze. Doesn't touch it. Again, you have to smash every ball in freeze. This little air dribble 50. Perfect. And again, catches the ball. And just soft touch plays. Completely, he's in a different realm when it comes to fundamental ball control. It's just different. You can do all the dribble maps until you're blue in the face. You will never get skills from doing that because it works for you. You need to work on catching balls. You have to be dedicated. You have to practice. You can do it in free play. You could get the old way we used to do it is you just go on aerial. Sonic's aerial training, you go to hard mode and just catch it. But just spend time in games just trying to catch the ball. You're going to get dunked a load. Why? Because you don't have that ability. You're going to get dunked because you don't have the vision and you're not able to see when you can catch it, when you can't catch it. Again, but if you never practice, you'll never get to the levels you can get. I mean, look at this again. I mean, it makes me laugh. Soft touch to the side. Important. Note this because we're going to get to TRK in a minute. Comes down. Little touch. Fake wave dash, actually. And then they said, as I said before, people said you don't flick in freeze. Everyone used to laugh at Flakes. He was like, oh, I want to do some freeze. I was crying of laughter. They said, you can't take possession in freeze. You can't flick it in freeze. And of course, we know they have no idea what they're talking about. And they never have done. This is stuff I've been preaching for 6 years. I know Flakes has been preaching it for a long time. And now we've got someone in beast mode who actually does that. And he can do both. He can do aerial as well, but he does flicks. Okay, brilliant. I think goes and grabs that back boost. And again here, Daniel doesn't challenge this. Really important. Also notice Atomic is actually, he's moving away from the ball ever so slightly because he doesn't want to hit this ball volatility. You know, he doesn't want it to be volatile, unlike what the Falcons are doing over and over. And then Daniel faking in the corner, trying to block goal side. He does get beaten, but he did the correct thing. And of course, beast mode, look at the line he takes straight to net. You know, so many people tell you you have to do these big curving rotations. And when I tell people about the pacifism, I say, you just go straight into net. Just go straight back into net. Yeah, but I need to cut. Just go straight back into net. But I want to cut into net. Okay? Why? We're getting to a stage now where people are pretty decent mechanically. You do not have time to come here and go, yeah, I really want to get great momentum. I want to get great momentum. I want great momentum. It's a goal. Okay? Just get back to where you need to go. You don't see it in sports. Obviously, they go, yeah, but you don't have the momentum. You don't need momentum in Rocket. It's a myth. It's a myth. Every time Beast Mode pretty much has gone to the ball, he slammed his brakes on to kill his momentum. Why? Because then he can control the ball and keep the possession. Then he can look for good 50s and quality plays. It's wasted. People don't understand it. People just think you need to go as fast as possible, smash the ball away. And by doing that, you could do that defense, which we've covered on this channel quite a lot. Defending from behind is very important. And again, great reads from Beast Mode, goes into the net. Oh, God, that's novel. Into the net. Yeah, but you don't want to be in the net, do you? Well, why not? Well, because someone whose name rhymes with Rook Duke said to do that. Well, they don't know what they're talking about. And if you listen to them, neither will you. You do not want to just sit outside the net. Yes, you can. Absolutely you can. Because you want to close off angles. But the net is in a bad position. I can see everything. Vatira uses this all the time. And, I mean, look at him. So now I can come out of net and hit this. This is exactly the pacifist stuff that we've been talking about for the last couple of years. Comes in, again, takes a good 50, grabs that, and now we'll rotate out organically because the ball has switched sides. Okay. The ball comes over, and again, it's a hard touch. They're great players. I will never get to 10% as good as these players. But they cannot seem to slow down. And that is just cost. When I watched this series, you saw two things. Well, I saw two things. That they're just smashing the ball away. And because they're trying to move so fast, they seem to never have boost. And yet the G2 team seem to be controlling the play more. And look, again, look at the boost differences. Okay? So it's just important to note that. So hard touch. Atomic trying to get something done. It's actually a great interception again by TRK. But look at the touch quality. It's a different level, guys. You know, it's just so important. When everyone else tries to do this, they just smash the ball away. He hits it up to himself. And then he can get the respect off everyone. Notice everyone backs off. But also notice their boost totals. Look at the boost totals. 0 and 0 and 0. Because they are forcing and forcing and forcing. And you could say, yeah, but they're 2 goals down. They got 1. They were doing this all series. After game 2, this was all it was. Okay? Beast mode there. Getting the level of respect that he deserves. Because he's played it so slow. And this is hilarious because it's almost a big fumble. Again, I love the Falcons. I actually had the Falcons winning. I wanted the Falcons to win. I thought it would have been amazing. I'm not hating on the Falcons. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing. And I'm pointing out things that people do and they do it wrong. The difference here is we've got control. We've got team play. We've got nice movement around the pitch. Again, why is Beast Mode not flying 100 miles an hour into this? Because you've been lied to by people who don't even understand what they're talking about. It's like Floyd Mayweather, you know, when he says most people don't know shit about boxing. It's the same with Rocket League, okay? Most people have no clue. So he slows down because he needs to... There we go. Now I can move in. If it goes bad, I can move out. Look at the formation here from Falcons. TRK is just going off for boost that's not there and then pushing forward. Pushing forward on a 50. Yeah, I mean, they've got to do it, I suppose, at this point. But Killeers is so far forward as last man. And this game, he was the most back. He was the most back in this game. But here, why push forward there? Because TRK is pushing forward. You'd probably want to be coming here into the middle, wouldn't you? And then you'd turn there, and then you could probably get it. But, again, I remember I was watching this with Kate live. And as soon as I saw Killeers flip, I was actually watching Killeers in this clip here when this was live. And I saw that, I said, oh, it's a goal. As soon as I saw that, I said, it's a goal. Because the net's open. There's no goal side protection. And they're not going to miss that. Especially Beast Mode. Again, the levels, guys. The levels. Again, great build-up here from Beast Mode. Comes down, comes up, comes down. Because he saw Daniel has it covered. And again here, why has he stopped his car? Don't you have to go supersonic? Or you don't know what you're talking about. And you never have done. Just because it's freeze, it's a load of nonsense. He's reversing in freeze. Somebody call the police. That doesn't make sense. Of course it makes sense. That's what having brain cells looks like. And look at this. He puts it back into the middle. Just fantastic stuff. Little wave dash down. Comes away. Fantastic. And then here we go. You know, again, not overcommitting. But Killeers trying to move into this. Again, no boost. I've just got no boost. Playing it a million miles an hour. And finally, we get a bit of control. Finally, Ruiz gets a bit of control. Gets the flip reset. And... yeah, I was a bit confused with this one. I don't know if it would have been better him trying to go for it himself. But the handoff isn't bad. But the problem is this handoff is blocked. Atomic's done a great job of getting the inside position. And we talked earlier about being ahead of the play. And being ahead of the play can be useful. But it's much easier usually to intercept a redirect than to get it off usually at the pro level when you watch the games. And again, difference here. Look at this. Daniel reversing. Super soft touch. And look at that, outplay, nice and easy. And there's the difference again. We're talking full smashes. TRK is up. And this isn't just because it's the last couple of seconds. This was most of the series. You know, I heard the crowd going, TRK. And I'm thinking, and I watched the game versus mates, and I'm thinking, I don't know why they're chanting TRK, because he's over hitting every ball here. But again, it doesn't just, stuff like that doesn't get noticed. I remember, funny, speaking about boxing, I went and watched Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao jabbed Floyd Mayweather's arms and he blocked it. And I was in a bar and everyone was like, oh my god, yeah, knock him out. And I thought, casuals, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And everyone in that bar really believed Pacquiao would win. It's just a crazy world. So you're talking, people are chanting things, but that's not their fault. They go, yeah, TRK, well done, you scored a goal. They're not looking at the bigger picture. And they won't be looking at the bigger picture because they're there for enjoyment. But I believe it's because of the nonsense we've been told over the years that you have to play fast. I'm bloody sick in the back teeth of that. Play fast, play fast. Yeah, every creator has said just play fast. That's all I ever hear. But when you watch the top level guys, and when we've done replay analysis in the past of RLCS even and 2s, when we're looking at really good players, the players that win stuff, for example, look at Gamers 8, Beast Mode and Daniel, they were way slower than everyone. And you try and tell people that, and they just can't get it. You want to be in position. You might have to be fast to get to the position, don't get me wrong. But if you need to be fast to get to your position, you might have overcommit. So instead of thinking, I need to be fast to get to my position, think of, well, why do I need to be fast to get to my position? What did I do that left me in a situation, and it keeps happening, that caused this to happen? Is it because I'm playing low percentage plays that I'm overcommitting over and over? And it's most likely, yes, it is. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So, great again. Touches there from Daniel. TRK, of course, you know, they're trying to create something here. It's a great shot. I mean, this is a great shot here. Bad positioning, actually, from everyone. So, Ruaz comes here. Daniel's moving too far forward into this. If you look, he's actually overdoing it here. So, this is the difference in levels between Daniel and Beast Mode. There is a clip in this replay of pretty much an identical play in this exact game, funny enough. And the difference is Beast Mode literally drives here and slams his brakes on, and he just waits, and then he moves forward into that. That's the level difference. Daniel's an amazing player, don't get me wrong, but I do believe Beast Mode, yeah, he's just, I think he's just something else. I really do. I think he is just a bit of an anomaly. He's almost like a Monkey Moon, but he's better, in my opinion. He's better because he has much more game. I think as an individual player, I feel like wherever this guy goes, he's going to thrive. You know what I mean? And this is such a good play from G2. So, back to this. Beast Mode, again, generally being the ball chaser, chase down eyes, comes to this position. Daniel, brilliant vision, pops it up to the backboard high because he sees his teammate in front and he can easily get up. And this is sort of just an absolute brilliant overall view of what G2 were doing. Look at the inside positioning. Look at the green zone present. Beast Mode can drop that down to Daniel. He can even hit it back to waste time and set up Atomic. I mean, it was just fantastic. And they almost score off that. And actually, this clear here, it was the best clear that TRK did. And, you know, again, I'm not singling anyone out, but I really do feel like it was all hard. And again, obviously, I know it's the end of the game there, but every clear he has, if you watch this in his POV, he is smashing that ball over and over. So, that's my opinion, the differences. And, you know, people say, you know, sorry if I've offended anyone, okay? I know people get offended if you start telling people they need to look and figure out what they're doing. But I'm here to try and point things out that are happening. I'm not going to give you a false reality. I'm not going to go tell you to do a bunch of training maps to get faster just because it can be progressed. You know, I see this all the time. Someone go, I did this pack in, you know, X amount of minutes and now I'm doing it in this minutes. Okay, what's your rank? It's the same. Okay, well, then it's a waste of time, isn't it? That's how I look at the game. We need to do things that make us better. You know, you don't see basketball players walking on their hands. Everyone in sports at the high level drill what they need, and they drill how they play, and they play how they drill, and they drill to win. You've probably heard the term drill to win. That means you're using things that are going to help you. You don't just want to drill pointless things, and everyone does. If you're spending long periods of time shooting at the green squares, alright, it's a great map. The Coco did an amazing job making it. I'm not having a go at that. I'm just saying I know so many players who have put that in their training and have actually gotten worse at shooting. And it's back to this, and this is why Beast Mode is better than everyone. He is not just smashing the ball away for one, unless he has an open net. His game is all built on positioning. When you do these drills, that's why I prefer custom training where it's more real. You are practicing shots that you should not be taking. Okay? And it's also under the assumption that you've always got 100 boost. So what happens is, and I you know, it's something I say to the people I coach all the time. If you can take a player who's GC2 and you can take their boost, they're probably silver. Okay? That's why boost control is so important. If you look at series, Blake's series is a great example of that. Boost control. He took the boost and it just made everyone look rubbish. And they say, well, my players are better than that. Yeah, because you're not stealing their boost. And that's the thing. In most situations, you need to be looking at, one, how can I take the boost? But two, how can I position? You don't have to strike every ball. People say it helps me with passes. Well, maybe that's a bad pass then. Because maybe you should just go for an individual player like a 50, like Beast Mode does. I just want to show you a little drill here. There's going to be better ways to do this, but this is a very old school one that everyone used back in the day. People like Pashi90. So what you do in this drill is when the ball goes up, you just try and catch the ball. You just try and catch the ball as smoothly and softly as possible. Obviously, that's really bad for me because it took a bounce. Okay, so we just drop that. But you can, obviously, that'll be a training pack for this. If people want, I can make one. People are going to use it, I'll make it. All right, in fact, I might do one of those videos. I was going to do Ruaz, but I'm really fancying doing Beast Mode here. Sort of like how to play like Beast Mode. So that was a little bit better because we got the control a bit quicker. But like, you know, if you had Beast Mode do this, he would just, that ball would be perfect straight away. That's the difference. I can't do that. All right. I need to practice similar things. Obviously, you don't want to keep waiting 3 seconds. But this is the sort of stuff you need to practice. You see the ball. Okay, you want to be able to move into it and take control straight away. A little bit better. Still not Beast Mode level. Okay. So that's the stuff you want to be practicing. There's going to be a pack. If not, like I say, I'll make one. But I will be doing a how to play like Beast Mode thing soon. Because in fact, to be honest, from my opinion, from my play style and my paradigm of Rocket League, how I see the game really sort of fits that the most. So again, guys, keep in mind, I am giving away 2 hours of free coaching a week. I want to do a series with one of you and see if we can get you into a higher rank. So please reach out if you are a platinum and you've been hard stuck for 2 to 3 seasons. You have time to play a lot. You have time and you're willing to learn and do things that are completely different to what everyone tells you to do. I'm going to do this, structure this series from the bottom. We're going to learn how to shadow, why to shadow in what situations. I'm going to show you guys drills, so if you're watching, you can learn from it. I'm going to show you as much as I know. All right? And yeah, hopefully I can help some people get out of platinum, or at least understand the game, so that we spread some of the knowledge, so that people can actually understand the game in more depth. And I think that'll be more fun for people, because I think most people enjoy it the more they know. But that's just me. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves, and peace out. Peace, peace.